What's happening, everybody? Amp Capo here, Black Adonis Games, working on the Lesser God. I am in third person shooter kit version 2.05. I want to make that clear because I was just saying 2.5 and I think I was throwing some people off. But it's 2.05. My bad. I just dropped the O, but it will be up to 2.1. So I guess it would make sense for me to say 2.05. So let's clear that up first and foremost. But what this video is basically about the AI. If you are following how I have the AI that chases me, and then now I've gotten him to actually sprint. So let me show you that real fast. So you'll see when he's not near me now, he'll sprint, and then he'll stop when he's close. So this is definitely what I was looking for. If I get far away from him, like say I jump over here, you'll see he's going to sprint to come find me unless he gets into combat. So there it is. So a lot better, guys. So let me go ahead and show you guys what I did. And if you didn't watch the first video, it should pop up here on the screen for you. You can check that link, and you need to check that first. But for you guys that already are at the same step that I'm at here, you've already have it implemented into your project where the AI is following you. This is what you do. You want to go ahead back into your level blueprint here. I eventually want to work this into my characters. I just got to see how I want to do it. But this is what we're going to do here. If you have it set up just like I have it now, we're going to have two setups here. We're going to have a sprint by distance that we're going to set up. And we have the sprint node. Okay. So we're going to have to set up timer here. Basically, if you didn't watch the first video, you'll have to go watch it. Like I said, these nodes up here are part of that first video. But anyway, guys, what we're going to do is we're going to first and foremost, we're going to create sprint to player. So what we're going to do is you're going to come here. You're going to create a custom node. So just put add custom event, okay, and then you just label it what you want, sprint to player. Okay, it's not gonna let me make it because I already have one, but that's all you do, guys. All right, so then after that you're gonna drag off here. You got your AI friendly. You're going to want to bring him in. So let me go ahead and show you guys that again in case you not familiar with that process. Anytime you're working in your level blueprint, guys, if you're not familiar, you can just drag your character. Once you highlight it, you can literally drag the character right off into your blueprint. So drag your character, your AI companion off into your blueprint. You should be able to drag off of this character now and get all of the nodes that I have here. Let me zoom this back out. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a branch here for the AI. And I think you probably should have all of these things. If not, I just want to go through it anyway, man. I don't think I really went through it that much. I just went on adding a node. So you want to drag your character in from the map. From your character, you want to just drag off and type the nodes that you see here. I'm going to zoom in good so you guys can see them real good. You want to drag off, and you just want to put same thing you see mine. Say AI is dead. And then you'll see here. And you always want to do a get. So that way you'll get this same node that I have. From this node, you want to drag off and create a branch. Okay, so there we go. There's the branch. I'm just going to kind of recreate it in a little space here. Let's see if I can, I'll move this down so I can kind of just do it just for the people that are newer that may need that. So I'll bring my newer version down here, and then we'll just kind of, yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll move this down like this so that way we can kind of just make it above it a little bit here, just to show you guys kind of what it is. So just in case you don't know, And then the same thing here, guys. You just want to drag off here. It says current AI mode. So just drag off and put current AI mode. And you want to always get, these are getters, not setters. And then from there, that's how you get this here where it says patrol node. What you want to type is enum or enum. And then you can type equal or not equal. And then you will see here that it gives you the choice of patrol mode or combat mode. What I did after this was basically take that and then put an and after it. So we're going to go up here. We're going to put and, A-N-D. And you're going to select this one here. All right. I usually put mine in some sort of order. So the top one at the top, bottom one at the bottom, try to keep it neat. This isn't going to be neat, guys, because of the fact that the way that we're doing it here. It's going to be a little sloppy. Now you're going to see we ran into the end of this one and the end of this one. We don't want to continue with the rest of these yet, guys. What we're going to do is come back over here and finish what we started. And remember, you got your sprint to player node. That's going to be connected to this node here. Okay, guys? So that's how it's going to be connected. Don't look at the way mine is here. Just we're going to build all this and then you can connect it in the end if you didn't connect it already. So anyway, guys, we got the and here. And from the and, you're going to see that we got this get distance to. So that's what you want to do next. You want to drag off of here, put distance to, and you'll see get distance to. That's how you do that, guys. So this is going to get the distance between you and whatever. Let me move this up, guys, so we got it more separated so you can see here that we're working up here and not down at the bottom. We're just going to kind of rebuild the same thing. Like I said, I just want to go through it with you a little bit here so you're not just looking at me flashing a blueprint in front of your face and then saying, all right, guys, go do it. I don't want to be that guy. So here, you other actor is just your player, and I want to show you guys that. What I did was I created a variable here. You do that by pressing here, create variable, and then I just looked up my player, and when I click on it, if you look over here, it says BP player character base. So you want that base blueprint so that any actor that you make that is a player can have the option of using these features. So all I did was here, when you go in for the variable, you can actually click here and then you have a space where you can type, and you just type BP player character base and you'll see it here. You want to select the object reference, not the class or anything like that. Select the object reference. When you click on this, it will give you the blue icon here to let you know that it is an actor, player, character, etc. Then you can name it whatever you want. I named mine player. Okay, I'm gonna delete this because I don't want this in my blueprint. So now you guys got your player reference. You want to drag that player reference in and press get, and then you want to connect that here. Okay, so that's how we got to this. Now, after that, you just want to drag off of this. We're going to press the greater than sign. So make sure that you got the right one, and you want to get float greater than float. Okay. And then this is where you can pick how far you want the distance to be. I picked 400. You could pick 500. It doesn't matter. Well, it does matter. It matters how far you want your character to be from you before he starts to sprint and get towards you. I set it this way. Otherwise, you have to set, there's another setup that you have to do if you want to set it from a farther distance to have him actually sprint and then get closer to you and then stop. You'd have to add to this. So let's just do it this way for now, and then, you know, when I decide to do that, or if I decide to do it, I'll go ahead and post that. So anyway, guys, we got the get distance to, the player. So to explain this, this is your character that's on the map. Let's go ahead and show you this is this character, okay? And he's getting the distance between him and our player, okay? Our player, which is of the BP player character base. You can put your character here, but it's better to just use the base or the parent character when you're adding your variable type. Use the base character, and then that way it covers all the other characters that you may want to add this feature to. All right, so now we got that together. We have the and, which we already have here. So we would just want to go ahead and connect this to your and then from here, we're going to make another branch. Okay. And remember, guys, branch is just saying, hey, if this condition is true, if it's false. I was real easily able to understand this because in my youth I worked with syntax, and that language uses if then. And so if then is so much like this that this was so natural to me when I stepped into blueprinting. Anyway, guys, so now from here, if you want to look, it says from the false, we're going to go up here. And I do want to explain this. And remember, guys, we're coming from this sprint, and I'm going to just put this up here, and we can move it up here for now, and then I can erase it and all that good stuff later. So that way, and let me move up a little bit more just so you're not confused by anything that's underneath, because I can delete this and move this back or whatever when I'm done. All right, we're just going to use the bottom one for reference here. So now if you look here, we got everything that's up to here. What's happening is you're going to trigger this event once we create the timer, and then you're just creating these variables where we want to make sure the AI is actually dead. If that's false, then we can continue. If it's true, we don't want it to do anything else. Okay, then we're getting the current AI mode, which it has to be in patrol mode, and the distance to the player, but from, between the AI and the player has to be greater than 500 or 400 or whatever you choose. Okay, so that's what this is saying. So then from there, you want to come off. Now we got our true and false. Now if this is true, we want to come off. And if you look here, it says sprint mode on, sprint mode off. Now I set this on and off because I have other settings that I want to associate with this, and that's going to be how the animation and things will work. So I'll show you guys that. So what we're going to do is you want to come over here and you want to press your variable, and then the first default variable is always usually going to be the Boolean, okay, and or the Boolean, or however you want to say it. It is sprint mode on, and so you just want to name it to sprint mode on with the exclamation point. And I just do this. You could name it whatever you want, guys, but if you follow what I'm doing, you'll understand that I do things with a naming process, so that way you can kind of try to keep it organized in your thought process as well as in your development folders and things. It'll be able to keep, and just in your blueprints, it'll keep things a lot more organized, and it'll make more sense in case someone that is not you may be using the blueprints while you're developing your team. So it's good to try to use things like that keep everything consistent. So now what happens here is you can drag these in and you can say set, and that's how we get what you see here. So what we're going to do is we're going to come off of here, and we're going to drag off and bring in sprint mode on, and we're going to say set. So you want to do it here and here. So if it's true, if you go down here and look, we want to actually set the sprint mode on. So if this condition is true, we want it on. If it's false, we just want to leave it off. We don't want it on. Just leave it off. Okay. So now you got your sprint mode. Now see, this is what we came up with here. If you look, this is another blueprint that we have to create. So let's stop here because you're not going to be able to create this yet. we're going to go down here, and what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to create another setup, okay? So let me move this way up here, guys, so we can get some room here. And what we'll do is move this up, so we got plenty of room to work here, so we can recreate both of these. So now what we're gonna do is we're stopping, because if you look at this is the full blueprint. We got nodes that we can't create yet, and so this is what the nodes that we're working on here, and you'll see that we're stopped right here. We're gonna come down here now, and we're gonna create another add custom event and click on it, and you're going to name that one the same thing that I have here, sprint mode. Okay, so make sure you name it sprint mode. It's very important that you get the names accurate. Okay, now off of that, remember we made our sprint mode on. This time you want to get it, so what we're going to do is we're going to do get sprint mode on, and you're going to come off of here and create a branch. Boom. Okay, let's go ahead and connect it here, because like I said, I can get rid of this stuff after I'm done showing you guys. And then off of this, what we're going to do is we're taking all of this off the same character. You're going to see that these lines go down to this character. So what we're going to do is, if it's true, we want to play an animation montage, but you need to play it off of the mesh, off the character's mesh. So we need a reference to that. So you're going to drag that off of here, and you're just going to simply put get mesh. Now if your character has a lot of mesh, different mesh items, you're going to have to look through, and you want to get the one that just simply says get mesh. Okay, all right, so we're going to get the mesh, and we're just mimicking what we see here. Now off of this, we can actually put play montage, and as you're typing it, you'll see it come up. And then this we want to do off of the true. Okay, so let me do like we did before. Move this up so you guys are not confused by what's below, so you can see what we're working on. Okay, so now off of that mesh, we need to get another variable here. Okay, this says sprint speed. So once again, you want to go back to your BPAI character. Mine's called friendly, companion, whatever you name them. And this time you want to drag off, and you want to put sprint speed. Okay, and so here it says get sprint speed. That's what we want to do, and you will get this same node here. All right, and I'm going to explain this as well. All right, so next you want to what we're going to do is we're going to put a multiply. So you just want to drag off of this and press your multiply symbol, and you want to do float multiply by float. And if you see here, we're going to plug this into the play rate of the animation. The play rate is how fast this animation is going to move, and we're going to set this to 0.001, and I'm going to explain that because people often tell you to do something, but they don't explain to you why you're doing it. So what's going to happen is that when this character is sprinting towards us, he's going to play his sprint animation. Okay, so let's go compile, and what we're going to do is we're going to come out of this folder here, and I'm going to locate the sprint animation. So the way I'll do this is there's a couple of ways. We can pretty much go to the character here and double click on the character, and then click on the character's animation blueprint, but that may not be the best way to do it. Let's try it. Let's just do it this way. This is the best way to do it. Let's just type in the blueprint for your player character. So if you go to ABP, or if you typed in BP player, you will see that you have a blueprint here that says ABP Mannequin Player. You could click on this, and this should bring up all of your animations for your character. Okay. Now we have sprint forward is what we're using. And I'm going to make a blend space eventually so that he'll be using a blend space so that he's not just running kind of in like 2D. He'll be able to, you know, move or lean or do the same things that the player does. But right now, guys, keeping it simple, keeping it basic. And he runs so fast to you that you kind of don't see it anyway. So I'm not sure if it's worth it to do it at all. So we'll see. Anyway, guys, what you want to do is go to your sprint forward, which this is the sprint. And I'm going to explain to you why we selected our time. We're going to pause this here. So go down and just press the pause button. And then right click here over this little number. Just right click over this little number. You got to make sure it's not highlighted though. Right click over it like that and then go up to time format and switch this to seconds. Now when you move your animation all the way over, it's at 0.53 seconds. Okay. So this is 0.53. For him to sprint that little sprint animation before it loops. Okay, so now let's go back into our setup here, and you'll see that I set this for 0.001. What this does is it changes the play rate. It divides that play rate speed. So if we go to sprint speed and you click on sprint speed, I can show you what the sprint speed is. The default here you'll see is 650. So you move that over 3 places, 1, 2, 3, it becomes 0.65. Okay? This adjusts the play rate of the animation to how fast the character is moving. The default play rate of the animation is 1. So depending on how fast the character is sprinting, it will adjust the animation to that speed. Now the thing that I'm gonna do eventually is add a timer to this so that it he can gradually sprint faster towards me and then gradually pedal off of it. But like I said, he sprints so fast towards me right now that it's really not worth it for me to do all that. So that's why we're doing what we're doing. But I did want to explain to you why we use 0.001 is so that we can divide that sprint speed up. Divided into by the 100, so that way it's 0.650 and then it will automatically adjust the play rate of this montage to what this sprint speed is. Okay, so that's what makes that real cool. All right, so now that we have all that together, you don't have to do anything else with this. This should be it for that. And then the next thing we got to do now is, now that you have created your sprint mode, we can go back up. And then on this blueprint here, we should be able to drag off now and put sprint mode. And you should see your sprint mode. Okay. And then if we come here, boom, you'll see sprint mode. Now to start sprinting and stop sprinting, you literally need to drag this off of your character. Okay. So these are default settings, or let me put it the right way. These are default events, custom events that are set up in this character already. So all we're going to do is we got one that says start sprinting and one that says stop sprinting. So let's go here and drag off and put start sprinting, and you'll see it. There's start sprinting. Okay, so we can drag that to our blueprint. And we want, if it's true, it's going to start sprinting. Okay, and what's true? If he's in patrol mode and the distance between the player and the character gets greater than 500, he's going to start sprinting towards us. Okay, and then on the other side here, as you see down here, this is a less blueprinting here because we don't need sprint mode anymore. Sprint mode is for when we want the character to play the sprint animation and run towards us. So we don't want that now. Now we just want the character to stop sprinting. So that's a default again. And literally you can drag it off, or you can do as I do, and you just double click this. And then from this path node, you want to grab off of this dot and you can put stop sprinting. And as soon as you type SP, you should see it. And then you can put that here. Okay. We got one more thing to do, and this is the easiest part. Now if you follow my other setup, I added, because this is all of the default setup here that I left in from the third-person shooter kit default map. Okay, these are the things that I wanted to keep in. There's the respawn point, so everything else I removed except for the respawn point for the checkpoint. So rather than have this come behind all of this, I put a sequence here. And so now off of the sequence, you can add a pin. So basically to do that, you just drag off sequence, click on sequence. Just wanted to show you guys that don't know. Okay, and then you can add more pins to your sequence here. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'm gonna drag this back because I am not gonna be doing all that. This is easy. And you just want to drag off of here and put set timer by function name. Okay, so if you look here, it says sprint to player. Hey, I know what that is. The easiest way to do this and the best way to do this is to highlight your custom event, highlight the text from your custom event here in the name, copy it so that you get an exact copy, then go here to where it says function name and just paste it. This will make sure that it's accurate. Now, most importantly, you want to make sure that this is looping, and you want to make sure that this is set to 0.54 for our situation right now. Now, we picked this because if you remember, if you leave your sprint animation open, our sprint animation was 0.53 seconds. So I'm giving it like 0.01 second of little bit of leeway. So it gets to play all the way out. Now I'm still playing with the blend in, blend out and all that stuff. So it'll probably change here soon. But that's the gist of it, guys. So with that, you know what I'm saying, let's go back and show you again here. We're looking at the timer here, 0.53 seconds. Now when we go in here, we want to make this 0.54 seconds just to give it that little bit of extra. Just made the one here for you guys. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of that. We want to make sure that we don't have two. All right, guys, we just need the one here for me. But that's how you make that, guys. And you want to make sure it's looping. And the reason you want to make sure there's a time is because if you do not have a time, it will only fire this event one time. And we want this to be something that's looping, sort of like a tick, but with less weight, because it's 0.54 seconds as opposed to 0.001 seconds, which would be more equivalent to a tick. All right, guys, so now you go ahead and if you put all that together, and I'm just going to leave these connected that we just built just so we can make sure that it's working. The character should sprint towards us. So let's go ahead and go back in here and boop, move this out. Let me get my controller on here. Let's press play. And there he is. Oh, he's not sprinting towards us. He just walked towards us. So let's figure out why he just walked towards us instead of sprinted. Let's see what's different. Oh, I don't have the animation set. I'm sorry, guys. Here we go. Nice, easy one. Here under play montage, make sure you select your sprint animation. The one they have in the kit here, I'm going to just highlight it so you guys know which one that I'm using here. It's just a regular sprint animation. So let's go ahead and get that right here, sprint forward montage. So you just want to make sure, and you can drag that right in. We want to make sure that we put our montage so he knows what to play. It's not going to run if he doesn't. I mean, he's sprinting, but he just doesn't have the animation. So now it should work. Let's go ahead and check it again. And there it goes. Now he's sprinting. So that's it, guys. That's all you got to do to set up the sprint animation. Now when you get away from your character, you should see him sprint towards you until it gets within reach, which I set 500. If the character engages in combat, should stop sprinting and should just engage in combat. And then you guys can fight who you got to fight and take it from there. So that's it, guys. Amp Capo Black Adonis Games, man. I didn't try to make it really long, guys. You could play it in fast forward if you have to. Play it 2 times, 3 times faster if you experience. But I try to do it so that the newer people, you know, they can keep up with the process as well. And I thank everybody who has subscribed to me since the last video, man. I really appreciate it, man. Y'all have been getting my numbers up, man. I want more people to know about the game, so I'm gonna be doing the next video. It's gonna just be showing an update on the zombies and the progress that I have. Thank y'all for definitely for watching, and thank y'all for subscribing and all that. Amp Capo Black Adonis Games.